G'day everyone, welcome to the Opal Mills. Today we're going to make a size Z ring for this gorgeous little block of colour. And hopefully get it to the stage that I can show you some polishing techniques, how I get my polish to polish up the way I do, as a couple of people have been asking. So we'll pay attention to that in this. So I'll skip through just the stages as we get up to that. That way we've got more time so I can explain things there. Quick reminder, we've got a giveaway on at the moment, so if it's still within date. In the last video that went up on the 20th of the 3rd 2023, and I'll close the entries on that on the 3rd of the 4th 2023. So yeah, check that out. If you haven't subscribed, you'll need to be a subscriber to be in it. While you got a chance, I better start saying this. Click the like, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We'll consider. Got a lot of opal stuff going on in this channel, from mining, buying parcels, cutting, polishing, carving, doublets, inlay, setting in silver and gold, and anything else opal. So anyway, I'll get on with this video and start making this setting. So we've got some bits and pieces here for the ring band, for the setting, for the internal part of the ring, and for a bit of bezel. The biggest bit of sheet for the smallest strip of bezel. And yeah, I'll show you how we go about making a ring out of my head. So lesson for all you future jewelers out there, silversmiths: never trust your client to give you the accurate ring size. So even though this is way too big for me, someone over there with bigger fingers than I, we just had to go and make sure that when I put the inside part of this ring in, there was enough room, and this barely fit at size Z as it was. So we've kind of scooted past and off the rails. So this is how you make up things as you go on the fly. And as you'll see with the rest of this ring in this video, everything's just, as I say, it's coming out my head. You'll see how it's going together. It's too hard to explain. It's easy for me to show you. But here's our ring, and we're just going to start making the setting now. Okay, here's a quick update brought to you by coffee. Going to be soldering in this insert, which will hold the stone sitting up above there. Then we're going to have this bezel run around the top there. We've got these funny little things. We'll do something with those. We've got 4 of them, so we don't have to use them all up. And there's our ring still. So yeah, we'll come back and have a look in a bit. Alright, so that's our triangular bits that run on, or our angled cut bits. They've been trimmed up, rounded out, and we're about to solder in the inner ring, and then we'll solder on these bits. And trim it all up, start polishing. So there we go, that's what we're up to. Alright, so quick flash. We're up to this stage. We've got the internals in there. Hasn't been sanded yet, obviously. Just filed up, started trimming up. So now we've just got the little bits on the side here we're going to put on, trim it up again, and ready for a polish. So during all this, I've just got to pay attention to all the marks I leave, and try not to leave too deeper ones that I can't file out. So the first thing I'll be doing after I've got these on, trimmed up, is filing it all properly, get all this grit or coarseness all over it, and then yeah, it's a case of just being thorough going through the grits, but we'll get to that. Okay, so we've got the sides on. Just going to trim them up, file them up nice and flush, and neaten this bit up a bit, and we're pretty good to go. Looks pretty horrible at the moment, but it'll look the part. Oh, look, that stain just sets it off already. Alright, so there we go. Wind them down a bit. And now it's been a very aggressive file to get that done. Now I'll be going over it to get those marks out with this marks. And then these marks will go on to the 400 to get these ones out. So I'll keep going and yeah, come back and show you the sanding more so you'll be interested in. This is more just filing up to neaten everything up. Alright, so we're up to the stage where I've filed everything I want to file. There's going to be a couple of little maker's marks in here no matter what, but most of it's going to look fantastic. Don't mind that piece, that's just a late addition. The piece that we had to use on the inside wasn't long enough, but then again I said I'm just going to make this out of my head, and we used what we had. So we're going to get to and polish this up. And I'll take you through the process that, again, I've just come off of one of these files, whatever coarseness it is. I go straight to the 400 to get them out. So I'm going to pay a lot of attention on the 400 to start with. And as you've probably seen before, I'll show you again. I've got my little pointy bits and I can get into the little corners and so forth with my Dremel bit, with the sandpaper. I do my pre-polish with sandpaper and goes from 400, 800, 1200. I think we're going to go to about 2000 this time as well, just for the added extra effect. Then we go on to a red wax, then a rouge polish and a blanc polish, white. So we'll head over to the filing station. Sounds so professional. And we'll start filing, sanding. So it'll be the sanding station. Alright, so here's my Dremel bit. I've run a burr down and then just cut a slot down the centre of the stalk after knocking all the rest of the burr off, and made my own split mandrel. And we're just going to use strips of paper, starting with the 400. I've got some to make points out of and some for a wider sanding bit, and then we'll move on the 8, 12, 2000. So we'll start with this thin strip. Now what I want to do, depending on which paper I'm using, depends on the thickness of the paper and how many times I've got to fold it to get it to wedge in to the split mandrel. But firstly, this one will be 4, so we want to double it up to start with into a square, and fold into a triangle point. Like so. Then we grab some scissors, snip there, and then you can see over here, I'll just put this in there. Not going to be able to see, Phil. I'll put that in there. And just pull down so it's wedged in. And as long as I can see the paper either side of the burr, I know the burr's not going to hit the silver, and we're good to go. Alright, so now I'm going to start with the little corner bits and make the most of the point. The points don't last long, so I'm only just going to use it in the corners, and I can use another piece of paper to do the flatter surfaces. So this part's more of a detailing. Any grit marks I want to see are the 400s. So, this is worn out that quick. We'll swap over and do another one. Okay, so I've gotten into most of all that. We can go to a bit of a wider piece. One about that tall. 1, 2, 3 makes it 4. 4 ply. Let's jam this in here for a sec. So now we have that shape. Give it a bit of a starting bend. Now we go across the flatter surfaces.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep going around with this, and I'll just come back after. I'm going to have to move around a bit. That's a bit hard to keep it all on camera, and I'll show you the result of the 400 before we go on. Alright, so I'm happy enough that the marks that I've got to get out are out. There's a couple of little spots where it could have done with a bit more solder. And mind you, inside here is a sealed unit, so it's probably a breather hole. I know, Jonathan, don't seal in a cavity. It went through my mind. I thought I'd give it a go. So yeah, got our stamp, got everything cleaned up for the 400, so we'll progress on to the 800 and make sure that, yeah, by the 800, you won't want to go any further. If you notice anything, that you can go back to the 400 and get out. So we'll have a good look at it then. But yeah, I'll get the 400 paper set up, same process as before. And just get a bit of paper. This one will have to be cut down a bit. There we go. Zoom out. So same again. Just going to detail it first, get in the nooks and crannies with the pointed bit and switch to the flatter shape.
Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And
it's the same movements as before. Nothing changes. Repeat the process. So you're trying to get used to what you've got to do and where you've got to do it, and you remember it the next round because it's the way you just work. You work into the corners first and then onto the flatter surfaces. Same again. Now we can move to a flatter piece. So, and again onto the flat surfaces. And you can quickly see that you're getting that 800 finish on it, taking out all the 400. So yeah, I won't keep filming. More of the same as I did before, just going over the entire thing with 800 thoroughly. Okay, so here we are at the 800 stage, at which point we stop, because we're going to go over it again with the 800 because we've got to set the stone and put some more marks in. So we're going to go set the stone and continue polishing. And there we go. Now we need to tidy up that bezel. So we're going to go back to the 400 for this. So very carefully, I'm just going to go point this and try not to hit the stone. Just switch back to the 800 and neaten that bit back up again to the 800, and then we'll go to the 12. Alright, so here we are after the 1200, and I'm going to go up to the 2000, and then we'll start the wax polish. We'll give it a bit of a wash, get all the grit off. Alright, so now we're up to the 2000 grit. We're going to switch over to this wax. It's called red wax, and that's all I can tell you. From what I understand, when it comes to wax polishing compound, you can get it from many things, from metal, plastic, stone, obviously. It'll work on certain things. This will work on silver. Whatever grit's in it. Other than that, I've had this forever and a day, and this is what I'm down to. Don't use much, so it's lasted me a long time. Most gem lapidary supply stores can help you out with that sort of stuff. So that's what we're going to use, and I'm going to find our little cotton mop top. We'll get some on the Dremel, switch the bits, off we go. And there we go, that's the wax finish. It's starting to come up nice and shiny. We've still got 2 more stages to go. So I'm going to go give this another hot wash and get all this wax off my fingers so we don't cross-contaminate. It's big importance here. Okay, so here's the rouge that I use. It's quite common, this brand. So again, one new mop for this one. It's not brand new. I use it for this grit though. Put a bit of that on there. Off we go again. That's the rouge. So I'll go give this a wash. We'll come back and there's one more to do. And it should highlight the difference between even this finish and the next. Okay, so we've got up to this stage. All washed. Now we'll get on with the blunt. So again, same brand. This one's a white compound. And there we have it. And then we have fingerprints. So yeah, I'll go give this a wash and keep getting these little blotches now and then, if someone can explain that. They're all polished and everything. It's like it's two different colours. I don't know if it's a separation of this material, silver. Like the copper leaching out or something. It always comes up like that sometimes. It's on the inside of the band too. Anyway, I'll go give this a wash. I'm just going to handle this in the cloth so I don't get my fingerprints all over it. Zip in a little bit more. Oy, steady on target. So there we go. There we go with the fingerprints. So yeah, that's how I go about getting my polish. It's just taking a bit more time. Make sure each step's done right, and even then, you know, you hold it up close enough magnification, it looks like it's got little streaky scratches anyway, still. But at a eye's distance, so look, when you're looking at it like this, you can't see all that. It's just, yeah, as closer you zoom in, you're going to see a lot of things, even on the stone, I suppose. No, it's too well cut. So yeah, there we go. A ring and how I polish. I'll get on with the gold pendant soon. We've got an Andamooka trip coming up as well, so that'll be a bit of fun, as long as the weather holds out. Actually, I might just quickly do something. So I just did in the camera a touch. That's probably more true to what I'm seeing in my hand with the colour of that stone. It looked very white just a second ago. Still a bit, but yeah. So anyway, I'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed. Cheers.